All right, so I get a lot of questions about cooking, and not just about techniques or ingredients, but how to cook sort of effectively and efficiently. Today I have 5 points to share with you that, in theory, should make cooking a lot easier and less stressful. All right, so let's jump into it, starting with point uno. Point 1 is kind of twofold. It's to have a plan and think ahead. Before you start cooking, have a plan of action, think through the motions, visualize yourself and where you need to be. What ingredients do you need? What cookware are you going to use? What steps can be done before, during, and after other ones? So what work can you get done ahead of time that's not gonna compromise the end result? Answering questions like this before you even start the cooking process will serve you in the future, straight up. Set the oven to the proper temperature, start the frying oil, start boiling the water, set up small dishes and bain-maries for dirty utensils. This is really your time to sort of rig up the bunker and prepare for battle. And if you don't have that much time to cook, say you just come home from work, you're super wiped, you already only have like 4 hours of free time before you go to bed. If you're cooking for 2 people, cook for 4 people because those leftovers can easily be repurposed for the next day's lunch or dinner. A little preparation can go a long way over the next day or 2, so if you want to be a little happy boy and or girl, get the work done. Point 2, if you're using one, read through the entire recipe before you start cooking. I used to never do this, but I'm telling you it helps. Even if you consider yourself a strong cook, read through that recipe at least one time. Giving yourself a general overview of the recipe is going to help you better think critically about the recipe, whether you can replace an ingredient or whether a technique is better suited for the purpose of the recipe, that sort of thing. If you're a newer cook or you're trying to nail an exact specific dish, reading through that recipe is going to help eradicate any fun last-minute surprises down the road. Nobody needs to rip through that cluttered cabinet, scrambling last minute for the apple cider vinegar while the food is searing. Pointer number 3 is to prepare your ingredients before you start cooking. So if you're an avid consumer of food media, you love reading cookbooks, or you've worked in food professionally, you already know this, but mise en place is a very important term to know. Mise en place is a French term that roughly translates to everything in its place, meaning that all of your ingredients are prepared according to the recipe or what you're trying to accomplish. Your onions are diced, your artichokes are turned, your chicken stock is measured and simmering at the ready, that sort of thing. A gigantic chunk of cooking, believe it or not, is sort of having what you need prepared and in front of you. Execution, the cooking, the fun part, that's really only about 15% of the process. And of course, I just plucked that statistic right from my beehole, but you get the idea. The actual cooking comes after the other real work is complete. Not that cooking's not real work, you know what I mean. Pointer number 4, work clean and stay organized. Chances are you're cooking at home and don't have a sweaty, large, angry chef breathing down your neck because your cutting board is too dirty. This is a good thing. So similar to any workspace, right? Think about an office setting. You don't want your desk to be cluttered and in disarray, or else it's just gonna kind of throw you off your brain. You're not gonna be able to think clearly, it'll be foggy. You want a clean workspace. Wipe the board clean of any food scraps or sauces in between tasks. Try to minimize any crumbs or other waste sort of in your area as you move throughout the recipe, throughout the cooking process. Keep that noggin nice and clear and ready for anything. You can really always be doing something to make your life easier while you're cooking. So think about it. The pasta's boiling, stuff is in the oven. You can easily wipe down the counters. You can do dishes. You can clean them and dry them and put them away. You can set the table. Really the point is that you can get a lot of stuff done during your inactive time in the kitchen. Trust me, you'll thank yourself post-meal once that wine laziness really starts to creep up. Remember, if your workspace is dirty, you're gonna have a bad time. All right, so I kind of went back and forth with this 5th and final pointer, mostly because I thought at first it was corny, but actually I really do think it's important, and that is to take it easy on yourself. Set yourself up for a relaxing, or at the very least, a fun experience. Pour yourself a cocktail, if you're of age, pop on some crunchy tunes, open a window, do whatever it takes to set up a positive and cool, fun, awesome cooking environment. This doesn't have to suck. Remember, you're at home, so nobody is here to judge you, unless of course you have an evil in-law situation or, something along those lines. In that case, that sucks, but other than that, you should be good. A great final takeaway here is to remember that the more you cook, the better you will become and the less stressful it will be. So practice as much as you can and remember that over time, especially once you get those reps in, things are going to smooth out. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, so that is it from me today. If you feel like I missed anything or have any pointers of your own, feel free to write those in the comments. I'd love to see what effective and efficient methods you put into place. And I hope this video was somewhat helpful for you, and if it was, please be sure to give it a like if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week. Ta-ta.